Lisa, would you mind taking roll?
Brittany Gish,
Here.
Tasha O'Neill,
Present.
Deborah Sixta, Morgan Wilson,
Here.
Brian Zimmerman,
Here.
John Bennett,
Here.
Wendy Reisinger. We have a quorum.
Excellent. Would you guys join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Brian Zimmerman? Thank you. Everybody should have received a copy of our minutes from the August 27th meeting. So I'm going to proceed with item 1, approval of minutes. A, approval of regular meeting minutes for August 27th, 2024. Consideration of the August 27th, 2024 regular meeting minutes as written and noted with corrections.
I'll second.
I will entertain a motion. And a second.
Oh, second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Excellent, thank you. We're going to move right into item 2, which is consideration of public comments. Lisa, do we have any public comments today?
I did not receive any public comments.
Thank you. We're going to move into old business. I just want to put a change forward. We discussed here a little bit ago. William Pottenberg, we're going to move you up to item B here. So we're going to have Kevin Davison speak first, and then I'll have William speak just so that way I don't catch you unaware. So item 3A, old business, Route 66 Centennial Celebration and Planning. Kevin Davidson, Wallapai Tribe Director of Planning and Economic Development, to give an update on the Wallapai Route 66 Centennial Celebration Committee. Kevin, go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you all. Yes, thank you all for having me. Kevin Davidson, Wallapai Tribe. And I have a little PowerPoint, which I shared with Lisa yesterday. And I will present that if I can get my screen to share. So bear with me for a second here. There we go. Create plans and implement projects to preserve, protect, and enhance the high highway, including with recommendations to attract tourists beyond 2026. So I see this as putting our best foot forward for Peach Springs and try to attract customers to come back after 2026. And hopefully we have a big flood of people coming to run the route from Topac or from hell from Santa Monica out to Chicago. And they'll stop in Peach Springs and say, this is a neat little town. So to do all that, we have Melissa Havatone, Marilyn Vaughn, Kayla Jackson, Alexis Walima, and Mercedes Wisela on our committee. And I'm looking to probably for a couple more members to join as well. And to do all this, we're working with several groups, the Wallapai Safe Streets Committee. We have a Safe Streets for All grant going on right now to develop a basically a highway safety plan, which we could definitely enhance downtown Peach Springs with crosswalks and better lights. We have the Grand Canyon Resort Corporation, the Historic Route 66 Association of Arizona, local cities and towns along the route, ADOT, as well as WACOG, and the Centennial Group and the subgroups at the state level, and of course the federal initiative for the Centennial Commission established back in 2021. So hopefully we wind up with something that we can be proud of, given we have 7,500 people working on this project. So, okay, next slide is for Peach Springs, the planning area. If you're familiar with the highway through basically Peach Springs next to the BNSF railroad track from about 102 to about 105 is our focus for what we call the greater Peach Springs urban area. And if you're curious, all those little color triangles and squares are the ADOT signage types for speed limits, do not pass, pedestrians, etc. So this is part of our Safe Streets for All action plan, is to coordinate the location of all these signs for better visibility for safety. This is the view of downtown Peach Springs. We're looking at the red areas are the commercial, Wallapai Market, Wallapai Lodge, Northwest and Southeast. Also a proposal for a new incubator facility for tribal entrepreneurs. We're working with MCC on that to establish a location next to the historic Shell gas station, which is like the centerpiece, and it's being rebuilt after storm damage. So I'd like to thank several granting agencies from the federal and state level to help us with that restoration effort. We also have the green areas or your public spaces or your churches, your Route 66 Park, and the Cultural Center to the west there. Next slide. I was very happy to get some drone footage from GCRRC back in October. This again begins at 105 and runs down the hill into Peach Springs, a 2-lane 65 going down to basically single lane west and east for 45 miles per hour. The tribe's also working on a new tribal admin building somewhere in the location of High View and Mesa View, and that'd be a great place to show a sign, welcome to Peach Springs, and show events at the tribal administration building on your left there. Next slide, moving to downtown, we have the Wallapai Market, we have the Route 66 Park, we have the crossing of Diamond Creek, which is probably our major transportation cross-section in Peach Springs, and probably need some kind of a crosswalk or a hawk system to convey people safely across the street there. Lodge on the left, and also have the Osterman gas station at the center of the picture there. The speed zone there is 35 miles per hour. Moving a little further west of the Cultural Center, we have our proposed Veterans Memorial also next to Cultural. On the other side, you have the Post Office Trading Post gas station and the old Trading Post itself. The old Trading Post is from 1928, and that actually came after the one you saw in the opening credit with the old 1921 wood structure. So, and a little bit here, this is moving into Peach Springs from the west side, milepost 103 to the Peach Springs sign, some kind of a community entrance sign comparable to the one you may have on the uphill side at milepost 104.5. So, again, you're moving into Peach Springs from the west. Our next slide here shows the priority list by the committee. We had a meeting on September 24th. The Route 66 Park, where people congregate from the lodge and hang out, that should be our number one priority for better grass, shade, lighting. Also, welcome sign advertising. Also, maybe on our water storage tanks, say welcome to Peach Springs, like every town has a picture on their water tank. And then the old Shell gas station / Osterman gas station and the entrepreneurial space around that. And then doing some kind of revitalization of the Game and Fish Department, the old Trading Post gas station and the post office area and the vacant lot in between. Then we have the Chinatown area and the RV park. It's around 103 to the west. And maybe possibly, if we have some time, an entrance arch to the Grand Canyon on Diamond Creek Road, the only place you can drive down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon along the entire river. And also the old doll factory could be turned into a museum, and of course the Valentine School, an historic monument for basically the boarding school and the history of that boarding school. Looking back at the downtown park, the ceremonial circle, we need to revise that a bit. It's about 20-some years old. This was an old ADOT funding source that goes back, I think, I can't remember, like 1995 when they first did the ADOT enhancement. So again, after some 26, 7 years of construction, you need some TLC to bring it up to snuff. Here's some views of the park as you walk around it from the west to the south and then walking east. Dedication there to Mr. Dallas Casulas Senior. He's like the Delgadillo of Peach Springs. He passed away several years ago, but there would be a big barbecue during the fun run at the park, and he would put that on for the tribe. A little bit more here. Here's some of the ADOT enhancement plans that were done several years ago. The committee has gone through and done some coloration and trying to revive the landscape along the route. The map here is actually upside down, so north is pointing to the bottom of the page. This is from Diamond Creek going westbound to the last little bench just west of the Cultural Department. And you see the different building locations there. So the goal is to revitalize the landscape plan along that part of the route. Next part is north is up on this one. It's from Diamond Creek to the basically the Wallapai Lodge and the church. And the goal, again, is to modify and update the landscape plan, and also maybe put in a hawk at the intersection. You see the red checker at the intersection of Diamond Creek where we'd like to be able to cross. That intersection handles about 3,200 trips per day of vehicles and about 100 pedestrians crossing the intersection. So hopefully our safety plan will make a recommendation for better pedestrian improvements at the intersection. Also, the little committee is looking at doing a walkway, a sidewalk from the park up to the tribal office, about 4,200 feet. We're thinking this could be a good recreation trail for fitness and for visitors at the lodge who like to walk around town and go into people's backyards by accident. So we can keep them on the straight and narrow. We can put them on a nice walk up and down the hill after they have dinner at the lodge. Going into the old gas station, you probably have seen this on many trips out to Peach Springs. This is under construction right now. The roof should be on about a month or so. And then we're working with ADOT for a new grant we just awarded to hire an architect to do the actual renovation work after we get it repaired. And here's some of the photos of the repair work going back to last year this time, and photos of the roof structure. Let's moving on to the old trading post. Again, this is the 1928 version of the trading post. It's on the historic register as well. And you see what it was back in the 1940s, the 60s, and then currently in 2019. So we're trying to bring it back to some kind of life. Now, this is the old 1922 to 25 photographs of the wood structure. And the trading post gas station had a flat roof back in the 20s. Before it had or actually today it has a typical gable pitch roof, which you will see here. These photos were taken this summertime, and the building is quite in disrepair. The goal is to try to at least get it power washed and cleaned up. And if we don't have any money, we'll do like a Hollywood false front and say, look at this beautiful building, but nothing's on the inside, depending upon how much money we have to spend on this project. For our public art, we've been talking to some sign people, also to NCC, about putting murals on buildings, water tanks, and sample some artwork from a mural artist in Phoenix. We'd probably like to also have some tribal members as well. We could probably be looking at maybe 10 murals around town for the centennial as well as this Wallapai Pride. And what's all this cost? Well, about $2.7 million. So if we can get it's a portion of this paid with grants, particularly for the safety portion, the hawk, the sidewalk, and maybe a / road condition safety sign / entrance to Peach Springs sign. We can use tribal transportation safety funding for part of this project. The restoration of the old trading post gas station and the public park, that's on us at some point. And in conclusion, here are our plans for 2025. Complete design and secure funding for capital projects, organize events with the Arizona Route 66 Centennial Events Subgroup, and 2026 begin construction and hold events throughout the year for 2026. So that was my rather quick 10-minute presentation on 24 slides. You probably have a bunch of questions, so go ahead and shoot.
Commissioners, do you guys have any questions for Kevin? I think your presentation was really thorough, Kevin. Thank you for sharing what you guys are doing out there in Peach Springs. It's great to see that what our neighbors are doing to get ready for Centennial.
Okay.
As you guys have marketing materials, like let's make sure we share those across so we can encourage our visitors to visit you and vice versa.
Okay, I appreciate that, and thank you for the time on this. And if we have other projects coming up in 2025, I'll be sure to give you an update at that point. So.
That sounds great. Thank you, Kevin.
No, wait.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Question.
It's okay.
Councilman
I have brain
Savage.
farts once in a while too. Hi, Kevin. It's Councilmember Savage. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, guys. Yes, thank you for
Just
asking.
a couple quick questions. With you trying to correlate this with our 100th anniversary here, one is how is the parking there, and two, is there going to be any pedestrian crossings available on 66?
Yeah, let me scroll back to that slide. Here, let me go back a bit here. Oops, sorry, too far. Yeah, the infrastructure plan showing the landscaping and the potential of a hawk right here. At the lower left-hand side of the picture, you see those red checkers. Those are proposed marked crosswalks. We're looking at doing some kind of a inlay concrete stamped pattern, possibly with a logo for the Centennial to mark the event on the crosswalk. You'll see crosswalks in Kingman have a stamp on them,
Right.
the date and time they were built. So something like that could be really interesting. 8 to 10 foot wide walkway. Again, that denotes the Centennial. I asked ADOT about bricks. They go, no bricks, but you can go stamped concrete. That's acceptable within the right of way. Pedestrians, and for safety on that, with a hawk, I think that would work out. For parking right now, it is all parallel parking along Route 66 at 35 miles per hour. I'm not sure whether you can go 45 angle like you have on Beale Street. That might be too much to ask, but of our safety study says we should lower the speed limit to 25 mile per hour around the lodge and the front of the gas station for, say, 400 foot of 25 mile per hour. Maybe you can pull off 45-degree angle parking, increase the parking by, say, another 30-40% more cars. But if I were to walk out the door right now, there's only like 3 or 4 cars parked on the street. So we could probably accommodate another 50 or 60 on-street cars in that picture you see there on this screen there. So
Okay. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Kevin. I think we're going to move to section 5 reports. B, guest speaker William Pottenberg, post-secondary transition and community engagement coordinator at Kingman Unified School District, will discuss KUSD-CTE work-based learning opportunities. William, are you with us?
Yeah, thank you very much for your time, advisory committee members. I appreciate the invite and being able to speak about some exciting things our school district is doing. Recently, we had a meeting with a variety of industry professionals, community businesses, and stakeholders with the intent of developing partnerships to increase our work-based learning opportunities for our students. In collaboration with our CTE coordinator, we've been looking at providing opportunities that range from mentorship, job shadowing, to internships, to basically enhance the understanding, awareness, and preparedness of our students going in the work field. We really want to focus on helping our students have adequate skills to come out of our buildings and be able to be an impact on the workforce. And I think we believe that collaborating with community partners can only increase that. So today I have a short video. It's about a 4-minute video created by Maricopa County and the Arizona Department of Education that kind of speaks about what career technical education is and the variety of work-based learning experiences that could be offered by different partners to different grade levels across the board. We've made an emphasis this year to make career exploration and career awareness, specifically quality competitive jobs in the community. We've made that a focus this year. We believe that every kid in every building should be exposed to a variety of professions in a variety of fields. We have focused on information technology, health sciences. We're going to focus on exploring all the trades for CTE month with a focus on introducing girls to the trades. And then also culinary, hospitality, and retail at the end of the year. But right now, myself and Lindsay Woolsey, who is the Career and Technical Education Coordinator, have been trying to generate partnerships to create more work-based learning experiences. So I will share my screen, play this video, and we can go from there. Can anybody see that?
Yes, we can.
All right. I will.
What is CTE? Career and Technical Education is an educational model that aligns secondary and post-secondary education to labor market demand and provides students with the technical, academic, and employability knowledge and skills they need for success. Put simple, CTE prepares students for careers of their choice. Think about these careers: engineering, business, nursing, teaching, welding, coding, videography, law enforcement, sports medicine. These careers and more are covered under the umbrella of Career and Technical Education. CTE is not just a class. CTE is made up of 4 critical components. Those components are classroom instruction, lab instruction, career-based experience, leadership. Today, our focus is career-based experience, also known as work-based learning. Where does it begin? Work-based learning is also a coherent sequence of job training and work experience that connects classroom learning to work activities. Work-based learning begins with career awareness in elementary school, with field trips and guest speakers, allowing students to be aware of various careers. Career exploration begins in middle school, Students participate in career assessments, job shadowing, and coursework. These opportunities allow students to narrow in on a career that interests them. As students enter high school, the career prep focuses on a program of study that provides opportunities such as laboratory experiences, school-based enterprises, and possible internships. In career training, clinicals, paid and non-paid internships, cooperative education, and work experience are possible capstones that immerse students in the real world. And with that comes the expectation to perform as a responsible employee during their experience. As a benefit to the student, through work-based learning, they acquire employability skills, a clear connection between school and work, improved post-graduation job prospects, and positive work habits and attitudes. Benefits to the school are expanded curricula and learning facilities, access to state-of-the-art techniques and technology, and opportunities for individualized instruction, all of which make education more relevant. For the community, it creates an environment of collaboration and cooperation, encourages respect and tolerance between groups, and builds the foundation for a more productive economy. For the business and industry partners, reduces training and recruitment costs, provides opportunity for community service, and creates a pool of skilled workers. With work-based learning, everyone benefits. As a parent, ask yourself, am I ready to support my child in a work-based learning program? As an employer, am I ready to mentor a student in my business? As a community, are you ready to build a foundation for students to be college and career ready? I am CTE.
Now if I'm technologically savvy enough to unshare my screen, that would be the cool thing to do. I'm sorry. But essentially, while I try to be good, yes, okay. Essentially, we are looking to develop a variety of work-based learning experiences, like I said, from mentorships, field trips, um, uh, job shadowing, things like that. Our focus recently has been working on developing what's called 120-hour work-based, well-defined work-based learning experiences. Brittany actually attended the meeting. We are going to collaborate with Best Western to develop placements for students to come and learn different aspects of the hospitality industry, from business management to culinary aspects with their food service, and other things. We feel that there's a variety of placements that could be had. I hope I'm not shared two screens at the same time. Sorry. We think
You're
there's a
fine.
variety of placements that we had for all kinds of students with different ability levels. We are trying to slowly roll out the internship program starting in January. It is new to us as a district, and we certainly don't want to do anything that would be a detriment to our community partners. So we have basically developed a handbook with a memorandum of understanding so that it covers all the legalities and the liabilities of the organizations. We've found out through our insurance company, and and our legal team, that basically anything that is defined as a well-defined school-based learning activity, if anything were to happen to students, the liability would fall on us. So that element of, if something happened on the workplace, like who would be responsible for it? It would be us, through that memorandum of understanding, explaining what the responsibilities are between the school district, the training agency partner, the families involved, and things like that. The other thing is that a lot of people are hesitant to want to get involved with this. A lot of businesses are hesitant to get involved with this because of the 18-year-old age hiring for a lot of the industry partners that are at the manufacturing industry, the industrial park. You got to be 18, which is totally understandable. We have looked into Department of Labor laws that kind of say there's, based on work-based learning experiences, there's flexibility there, but come January 1st in our schools, we will have over 300 18-year-old students. So even with that, certain internship opportunities could lead to direct employment because of the age of some of our students. So between the liability concerns and that age restriction, there should be enough there to work with where we could really give kids some quality experiences and groom our own to a degree, which would reduce retention, recruitment, training costs for all businesses. So I will put a link on here to a Google form, which basically differentiates all the different types of work-based learning experiences. And it asks for your contact information, what your business is, some of the restrictions of your business, and then if you'd like to continue some of the conversations of what type of work-based learning experiences you could host, you can choose from a variety of them. I believe there's like 13 different examples of work-based learning experiences that could be chosen from. We are, like I said, primarily focused on developing our internship program. We're going to slowly roll that out throughout the second semester. I can only say this: we had a student named Alexander. He is a Kingman High School student, has interest in going into the IT field. We use a platform called Major Clarity to promote these events and experiences. It's a career exploration platform. Kids can kind of look into different careers and what it takes to go to school, what the salaries are, things like that. But we are also as a spot to publicize these work-based learning experiences. And he, without even teacher guidance, sitting in a class where he admittedly would have just been playing on his cell phone, said he heard wop, 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 career exploration, and ended up on the website. He found the internship opportunity. He immediately emailed the IT director. He emailed myself. He got his transcripts, worked the application process, applied. This was back in August. We are, like I said, this is kind of new to us. We've had an interview with him. We haven't gone through the paperwork because it's going to be an IT internship position within our school district. And we want to make sure we have our ducks in a row. But literally the other day at 2:44 in the morning, he emailed me asking the status of it. The individuals that want to participate in that are cut from the same cloth from some of these opportunities that we put up there and really want the enriching academic experience. We've also, today I just went to talk to Fox's Carpet Connection. We've had two students, two special education students that were in some specialized programs, one for academic needs, the other for behavioral issues, or it was a small group setting. It was good for him. But they both got positions at Fox's Carpet Connection, and I went there to speak to them about a third position today. And she told me how the kids have been exemplary employees. That they are extremely happy that they had come to work there. And she was telling about how she was down at Oktoberfest in September, October, and saw the student that was working for her, and she ran over and gave him a hug. Patrick, it was really nice to see him. And it really spoke to like what he's done in the workplace, but then also like the impact he's having overall, that relationship between him and the employer, the investment in him into the business. So it looks like in so many ways it would be positive for the community, for the students in the school. So I'm going to put the link up here. If anybody's interested, I also put my contact information. Reach out to me and we can have more of a discussion. We are looking for individuals who will be guest speakers related to the trade fields in our schools. So that's another aspect of career exploration and work-based learning experiences we're looking for. We really want to open the eyes to all the different aspects to the trades fields and the professions and the professionals that hold them in our community. So I will put my information up there. Thank you so much for allowing me to come speak. And I look forward to hearing from anyone. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm sorry.
Excellent. Can I request that you also put a link to that handbook? I feel like when people have the ability to look at the rubric of what's expected for those internships, I think that clarifies a lot of points.
Yeah, is there a way, if you're interested, can I have anybody who's interested in the handbook put their contact information? I can email it to them directly if that's okay. I don't know how I would upload that to the chat right now.
Can I have you send it to Lisa Lewis so she could send it out to our whole group?
Excellent. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I will totally do that.
Thank you. And then Council Person Savage, you were the first to catch my eye over here.
Hi, William. Question. I know that the school districts had a partnership with MCC. How much are they going to be involved with this expanded program?
Uh, we are involved with MCC with a variety of different things. Recently, I had a discussion with someone about the internships and programs we're having at the college level and how they actually attended the partnership meeting. We're trying to see how that would work in like a pipeline, kind of with some synergy there. I haven't had many discussions with MCC about creating internships there. Though yesterday I was with Flashover Graphics and Route 66 Embroidery, and the owner of Flashover Graphics brought up, the different departments that MCC has. I guess in my head, I've been so education focused and CTE, Wave and dual credit and stuff like that. I didn't think about going to MCC and seeing like, hey, in your PR department in your graphic arts, can we get a placement there? I haven't done that, but that is something that we've been considering. I just haven't gotten that far yet, Sean. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
No problem. We are collaborating with KRMC, WeCom. We've reached out to Allo Fiber, a variety of small. Who did I just speak to? Healthy Bar downtown. Like I said, Info, Flashover Graphics, Route 66 Embroidery. We've had discussions with Peacock Nut Farms. We've had discussions with a variety of the industry park businesses, Terry Curtis and some other individuals. It's just trying to figure out what everyone is kind of comfortable with and starting kind of at a baseline and see you can go from there. Like I said, we don't want to do anything that would be a detriment to anybody's business. So we have the majority of our ducks in a row, and right now we're expanding on gauging the interest and developing those partnerships so that when we do start to roll it out, we can kind of determine what those 120-hour work-based learning experiences could look like. That was another part of the meeting that we had the other night was kind of working with the CTE teachers. What would be the professional aspects and like the technical skills that would be worked on within that 120-hour period. That 120-hour period would be over the course of a semester, and essentially be a pass-fail class for the kid. Like I said, it would be like training a new employee, and either you're going to know at some points in time whether this is going to work out or not work out. So that's kind of how we are handling it at this point in time.
Thank you so much, Commission. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you very much, William. I know we'll definitely be sharing this program as we go out and talk to other businesses, and appreciate you coming and giving a presentation on it today.
I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, we are going to turn back to item 3B, Commissioner Zimmerman, ASU Graduate Project. Commissioner Zimmerman will give an update on the current status of the ASU Graduate Project.
Okay, hopefully you've all seen the note page that I passed around. Some of the things that have happened, I went to solicit the kayak group, the Kingman Youth Advisory Commission, to make sure that we get their participation as well. I think it's important to get participation from every constituent group that we have. A couple action items that are coming up that we need to take care of, and I mean we by economic development, tourism, and whoever else can add into it. I'd like to see that we get a preliminary survey going. We're trying to get a survey that we can go out to the community with to get information, but to do that we need to put together the survey and really understand what we're looking for. And that's probably going to go over to Josh and Bennett. It's also the Shark Tank presentation. Now that's the presentation to the students on their first day of class to recruit the team that's going to work with Kingman. That presentation has to be ready for the 13th. And the question here, if you look down into the ASU important dates, numbers 1 and 2 are the Shark Tank and the virtual introductions. One's on January 13th, the other on January 15th. The question is which ones would be in person, which ones would be on Zoom, and who's going to present those. And that's a question for Bennett and Josh, I believe. The next thing, the Project Cities student team visit to Kingman. They're planning on Saturday, January 25th. So please, the next, let's see, there's 3 visits that we're expecting. One on January 25th, another on Saturday, February 22nd, and then a final report on May 7th at the Tempe campus. Questions, Josh, Bennett?
As for the January 13th presentation to the students, that's something that I was going to be giving, but I think that that's something we can work together to finalize and put together before that happens. For Saturday the 25th, I'm sure we can get together and have a welcome group to meet with the students and coordinate some tours in the historic areas and the areas that we might be looking at having public art, so they kind of gauge what we've done and where we might be able to go. That shouldn't be a problem.
Great.
On January 13th, Tasha and I will both be in Phoenix. We're going to the lunch on the lawn, the ACE Legislative Day. So we'll be down there on the 14th. So if you would like additional people to attend, we could make that work.
And it'll be a virtual presentation. I actually have a press group that's going to be in town following the Go West Summit on those days. So I'll be attending to the Go West Summit and then doing this presentation virtually.
Okay.
How about the 15th of January? Number 2.
Yeah, we can. You want to attend that in person? Okay.
Again, I could be available then too, because our legislative day is on the 14th, so I could stay either side. I don't want to speak for Tasha.
That'd be great. Great. So we'll be coordinating that and updating the commission as we come up with the details.
For moral support.
We need the moral support.
Do you know, are they in need of hotel rooms if they're staying overnight or for some of these projects? Or have you guys identified some of what those needs are?
We've considered that, and Bennett also suggested some other opportunities.
Yeah,
Host families?
yeah, you could do the host families. We did budget it for hotel rooms with what we budgeted for this. So if
With an academic discount?
yeah, so how that works out, if there's a hoteliers organization that would do a discount for them when they come in town, that would what we'd also recommend to ASU as they go about that planning.
Is the city covering those costs or is ASU?
ASU is going to be paying for that. I believe we fund.
You fund
provide
ASU,
and
ASU pays for their
ASU
expenses.
handles all of the expenses.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you for the clarification.
But ASU was doing some matching grant money on this as well. That's what I heard at the last meeting.
I don't recall that, Brian.
Okay,
We have to look at that again. I don't remember that.
okay.
They had a general amount that this sort of agreement usually they charge the city for, and that's something that they've generally worked with other communities in the valley because they had all of the costs of going out of the community to come up here and do this. We negotiated a different rate to help cover those additional costs.
Okay.
So with regards to the local action, am I correct in thinking, Mr. Noble, you are doing the presentation to the students, and then with the survey, are you guys developing that as well, or what, is there anything that you need from our commission to assist with this process moving forward?
Yeah, there will be, as that survey starts, the students will also participate in that. That's what we're bringing them in to do. And then Josh and I will also be part of that, and we'll bring you guys in as well to comment and add any additional feedback.
Other commissioners have questions? Sorry, I'm monopolizing the questions. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Glad to see this project moving forward. We are officially on to new business. Item 4. 4A is Economic Development Project Manager Sylvia Schaefer. A1 is the International Council of Shopping Centers, ICSC Conference for discussion and possible action. I'm going to list them all out because I think we're going to kind of discuss them all together, if that's acceptable.
Yes.
Okay, and then item 2 will be the Arizona Association of Economic Development, AAED Conference. And then it looks like a Kingman retail update for Marshalls and El Pollo Loco. Ms. Sylvia, if you want to take the podium or just go from there.
Either way is fine. Just let me know. Good afternoon. I will start out with the ICSC conference I attended in Palm Springs in this past September. So I was able to attend this conference, and it's a smaller version of the Las Vegas ICSC conference, which is the International Council of Shopping Centers. We attend these conferences annually to reach out to retailers and commercial developers and market the city of Kingman. So with this conference, it was it was the first time I actually went to Western region. It was a very good experience. I did appreciate that it was a little smaller. I was able to meet with a lot of the actual retail reps versus the larger area managers, and I could hit the conference in a day versus taking several days and wearing out my tennis shoes. So it was very good to attend. I worked with Retail Coach. They set up meetings as well. I did get to meet the El Pollo Loco regional rep while I was there, and it was great to go up to his booth and say, hello, I'm from Kingman, the Kingman Economic Development Department. And he's like, Kingman? Yeah, Kingman. He's like, well, I just approved a site for you. I says, yeah, I just want to say thank you. We're looking forward to having you. So it was a little turn versus like, we want to have you here. You know, it was a really great experience, and he had the greatest smile on his face. But this is a really good conference to keep attending. We do build relationships over the years. I appreciate the opportunity to go and meet with these people and continue to bring retail to Kingman and work with Retail Coach. The next conference will be in May in Las Vegas, and that's the larger scale conference that a couple of you have attended. And that's all I got on that one. So moving on to number 2, basically, or B. Yes.
What I'd like is, before we move on from
Yes.
that one, is just to kind of start a discussion in regards to that May. We do have a budget that you guys have attended other conferences. If this is a conference that anyone feels they'd like to attend that, maybe haven't attended before, we can discuss that now, or you guys can get in touch with us. I think we have room for one individual to attend this one. So
Could I make a suggestion, and then maybe commission tell me if you agree? So usually there's a series of conferences that happen throughout the year in an effort to kind of spread it around. Could we maybe get a list of the ones that you have openings so that people can see all of them together and see, so we can kind of try and spread it out across the commission?
Yes, so we can do that. Sylvia's going to hit on another one as well.
Okay.
So if we'll just take that approach, we'll put together that list and email it out to the commission, and we can discuss it and bring it back at the next, commission meeting as to who's going to what conference, if that'll work.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah, could you find out on the list which ones would allow you to bring your golf clubs?
That would be all of them.
Yeah, typically.
They all would.
Yes.
Just put them in your
Yes.
car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Typically the day before the conference, there's
Yes.
usually a golf.
Some conferences, like Sylvia's saying, they might have a golf component.
Yeah.
I'm just not I don't golf a lot, so I haven't attended those.
We'll have to do a team building exercise.
Yeah. Take John.
Yes. Okay. So any more questions on ICSC? All right. So moving on, went on to, in October, so late October, went to AAD Fall Forum, which is the Arizona Association for Economic Development. Okay. Sometimes I get that up. But anyway, I went to that conference in the fall. It was located in Prescott, Arizona. Another good opportunity to work with economic developers throughout the state and organizations, network, find resources, and work together for economic development in Arizona. I was able to attend a tour in Prescott Valley, saw a lot of great projects in the area, including I was able to go by the Findlay Toyota Center, which is a great center. They have a 5,100-seat multi-purpose center located near the downtown area where there's a lot of restaurants and shopping. I think I was more amazed that they actually do hold indoor rodeos there compared to many of the other things I heard. I was like, oh, wow, you could do that too? It's like, yeah, it was great. So I know this is a key area that we're looking at as well, so it was good to have the opportunity to look at this facility. And then I have been there in the past when my kids had wrestling tournaments as well, so it was good to hear the other side of the Prescott, like more details about the facility. And Bennett will be talking about recreation centers a little more later in this meeting. Also, while in attendance, it was a pleasure to be an honor also to be able to accept the award for the City of Kingman's Downtown Streetscape program or project. We got the AAD Golden Prospector Award. So that's another award for this project that the city has received, and it was great to be there. The next conference is actually in the spring in Tucson, Arizona. I did find the dates are April 22nd and the 25th. And it was mentioned that we have 2 spots for this one if there is interest. So as we follow up with you, we'll make sure to put that indication on there. And is there any questions on the AAD Fall Forum? Okay. Well, welcome, Marshals. Here we are. So we did get Marshals open November 21st. It was a great accomplishment for the city, and I know the community was very excited. Thank you for all of you who attended the grand opening event. It was great to have you. From the Marshals staff and team, they said it was a bigger opening than they anticipated, and most of us were like, we kind of told you. We told you we needed clothes and shoes, and so everybody was very excited to be there. You know, Chasey's Pennies left about, 2021 or so, so the building has been vacant for a while. In the meantime, we have been working with the broker, the retail coach, and at our conferences, you know, marketing the site. So when Marshals land, it was a great achievement for everybody involved in this project. Is there any more to say about that, Bennett?
Yeah, I would
Thank
just,
you, Sean.
yeah, I would just add it's the first Marshals in Mojave County.
Yes, it is
So-
the first Marshals in Mojave County, so that was very exciting. You know, we'll see what, and they did, oh yeah, we did help them actually throughout the process for permitting, holding, hiring events at the Kingman Visitor Center. So thank you, Josh, and your team as well for helping with that. And also orientation while the building was still under construction. They hired about 100 people or so at the beginning, and it may taper off a little bit, but you know, it's the season right now, and there's a lot of people that will remain after though. So it was a great start. Thank you everybody for going out to the event and keep shopping there, and we'll keep it going. As far as El Pollo Loco, again, I was able to meet the regional rep at Palm Springs conference. I was also able to meet the franchise owner, who's he's very excited. There's actually 2 partners. One is Jack Frost and one is Sal Corral. They own 30 franchises in the United States. This is their 31st one. They do own the one in Lake Havasu. Sal will actually be the rep for this area, and he's going to be relocating to Kingman so that he can even be closer to his store. We're at the very early stages. Again, we are glad to have been able to find somebody to I guess it's not vacate, but take over the building that was sitting vacant since Profit left. So this will be a great addition to our town for more places to eat. There will be more news and updates as we come along through the process. We will be assisting with hiring events as well. The business itself will open in late quarter 2025 is what's anticipated right now, but there's not a set date, and we can keep you posted on that.
Which quarter was that?
First quarter 2025, and that's tentative as of today. So, but we'll keep you posted. And that's pretty much what I have to say. What's good with both. There's also some additional, with both stores, both of the store managers or the franchisees, they're looking to move to Kingman as well. So it's not just bringing new jobs to Kingman, but we're also bringing other people that want to relocate here as well while they're opening their stores or running their stores. So that's also a good asset to our area. And that's my updates for today.
Thank you very much, Ms.
No,
Schaefer.
Thank you too.
Commission, questions, comments? Yes, Councilman Savage.
Sylvia, question on the location for
Yes.
El Pollo Loco.
Yes.
Do you happen to know if they're leasing it or if they bought it?
I actually don't know that information. My estimate, my guess is a lease, is what I'm guessing right at the moment.
My only concern with that location is the landlord, and I don't know who it is. It was charging astronomical rent for the lease, so I'm hoping they'll survive there and be. I know I'll be eating there 3 times a week.
Yes, I understand your concern. I'm pretty confident in the location, and I'm pretty sure they looked at the studies before moving to this spot and panned it out. I think we'll be all right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. No, thank you for asking.
Thank you. We are going to move to item 5, reports. A, Tourism Services Manager Josh Noble. Tourism Services Manager Josh Noble to give an update on the Route 66 Fest.
Thank you, Commissioner Gish. Commissioners?
And Brittany, we just jumped over me, but that's fine. We can.
I apologize,
That's
Bennett.
okay.
I got excited. I was at
I
the
know.
bottom of the page.
I would be excited to hear from Josh more than me anyway.
I promise we'll go back and pick you up.
All right.
We wanted to save the best for last.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so this is a overview of our 4th annual Kingman's Route 66 Festival. Just a summary about what sort of activities take place at the festival. We try to really highlight a lot of different unique things so that a lot of people from different backgrounds can enjoy what we do. Live bands, entertainment, local craft beers. So we really worked to try to bring a local flavor to this event. We didn't have any big out of area beer providers at the event. Food trucks, art and craft, classic car show. We did that both days this year. In the past, we've had a motorcycle show the first day and then the car show the second day. We had some issues with the motorcycle show, so we switched, and it's actually worked out really well. It brings a lot of great atmosphere to the event. Pinup contest, vintage trailer show, roller skating on Route 66. This is a new one that we brought out this year because that's kind of been a new fad, and we've witnessed a lot of people really interested in doing that during First Fridays. So that went really well. Art displays and live demonstrations. We had the chalk art, the car art, graffiti art. There were a lot of different things for people to see. And then fun activity zones and the Route 66 photo op wall are kind of the main things. It takes quite a few people to put this event on, so we do have 10 people dedicated to the event committee to help us with planning and doing all the legwork. And then when it comes to actual setup, we've got a large group. There's a couple volunteers I missed on this list to participate in the Vintage Camper Show, but there's a lot of people, volunteers, and people from the different departments of the city that come together to put the event on. It's not a cheap event, but it's something that we, do use our tourism funds to help put together. A lot of it really is in the bands and the entertainment. So the zip line, Euro bungees, the stage, sound, bands, all of that. That's a major part of it. But we also have some in our operations and equipment and marketing. Altogether, about $93,000. And then we made about close to 27,000 back. A lot of that it's split about third way between vendor sales, beer sales, and wristband. Retail will continue to climb because we have shirts and stickers and magnets and things that will continue to sell in the gift shop throughout the year. Those things sell really well, so that's just what we actually sold at the event itself. A lot of partnering organizations. Not only do we have city departments and volunteers, but we've also got the Route 66 Association of Arizona. They provide an informational tent as well as help set up on the event. Kingman Main Street provided volunteers to serve the beer at the beer tent, and we give them a portion of the funds as a donation back to them as part of their ways that they do their different projects like the murals and the Beale Street improvements, that sort of thing. Farrow's Car Club, they coordinated the car show. Actually, in my volunteers number, I don't have their figure in there. Also, they have probably half a dozen people that are really on the ground, making sure that people are going where they need to go, that we don't have cars going out in the middle the event area, and kind of helping out with that. Wallapai Thrive, this is an MCC component that's economic development for the Wallapai people that's trying to help build business out there. So they helped by bringing in a few vendors from the Wallapai, and then they also had performances they put on up at the main stage. And the Arizona Office of Tourism, we also worked with them. We coordinated to have a Route 66 Centennial themed press trip that went across the whole state of Arizona for that week, but we launched it at the Kingman iHeart 66 Fest. We did a lot of marketing from digital, print, road billboards, the banners, rack cards, posters, so we kind of across the board. But some of the bigger highlights, we had a couple billboards down in Phoenix that we got about 3.5 million impressions on. Really trying to expand out into the rest of the state with that. Meta marketing, about a 250,000 impressions, over 83,000 people reached. And I think probably the most successful thing we have in town are the Berm Shave style banners. That's what a lot of people comment on, so that's really one of our local outreach components. And then we had a pretty good amount of people that were going to our website from the QR codes and the different resources we had out to direct link into the site. Participation, so we are growing our pinup contest from where we started the first year. We had 20 versus 12 last year and the year before. Participants in the pinup contest, and we expanded. Most of that expansion was for locals to participate because we had a lot of people that have started to participate more in the pinup contest locally. I think since we started this with the festival, we've seen local groups start doing this, so I think that's incubated some interest into that activity. So we've dedicated a certain number of registrants that have got to be for locals, and then out of Kingman area can pick up the other ones. Car show, that's 100 that registered. We also had a lot of people that did not register and showed up. I don't have a count for that, but it really does fill up the space that we have. The vintage campers, we actually had the same number as last year, although we had some new ones in that we hadn't had before. They're really pretty cool ones. A lot of people really enjoyed going out and seeing, and I think that's going to continue to grow as we move forward. Wristbands, so that's for the zip line, Euro bungee, the bounce houses, photo wall, all that. Had about a 20% increase in sales this year over last year. And so we're seeing a lot of people take advantage of those experiences. I kind of like to think of that as the Santa Monica Pier experience, so they've got the kind of the whole circus sort of thing or like carnival sort of thing at the end of Route 66 in California. So that's why we bring these components into it, is to have that same sort of environment. The beer, we actually sold less beer this year, partly because we didn't have, a standard American light beer. We did only craft beer, but also because we invited the meadery to come in, and we had Desert Diamond Distillery, so they paid as a vendor to be part of the show, but that meant that there were other options for people to choose from. And so we had not only our local breweries, but our meadery and the distillery, and that was a good thing to have that extra flavors. Then 53 vendors, so we're continuing to see that grow as well. I think there were 76 spaces overall because we had some vendors that took more than one space. So the accelerator data, actually forgot to add in the total amount that it said that we had. It was about 6.9 thousand visitors. 16.4% of that was out of area traffic. So about 1,100 people that were from outside of the Kingman Golden Valley area that participated in the event. That doesn't include any international traffic, so it's only collecting domestic. So it's actually a little bit higher because we did hear from some of the people at the event that they heard people from Australia and from Italy and UK. And so we had a lot of international visitors that were also pouring in and having that Americana experience during the event. But we know domestically there were people from 11 states, according to the cellular data, that participated in it. Hotel occupancy compared to the surrounding weekends, about 8.4% up. So that averaged about for 123 extra hotel rooms that were sold for the event. Doesn't include short-term rentals, Airbnb, Vrbo, that sort of thing. So we think that we are making some impact with bringing people in to the event. And with that, that's the conclusion of this year's event. Mark your calendars for next year. October 10, 11, 2025, and our centennial event, October 9 and 10, 2026. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Tasha?
Just for clarification, you said that you made back $26,713. So that's not, you didn't make the 92, that's just
no.
all that was made. And the 93,000 is total that was spent.
Correct.
So that'd be a $70,000 loss, roughly.
If you want to look at it as a loss, it is something that we put on for travelers coming in and for the local community to help instill and build on our pride of being a Route 66 town. So that's what we get out of that extra cost.
So we get $70,000 worth of that.
Correct.
Do you believe that that is what you're getting, that kind of reach and that kind of feedback and getting that much, for that expense? Do you believe it's that much of a benefit?
I don't know how to quantify how much of a benefit, but I know it is gaining interest, and that's why the Arizona Office of Tourism reached out to us to say we want to put on a international Route 66 press trip, and we wanted to launch it in Kingman at the festival. That was specifically their request, so it's something that is getting notoriety.
Does the Arizona Office of Tourism contribute to the expenses of that since they asked us to do it? Is that what you just said?
So they do coordinate and pay for the travel of the press trip that are coming in. We cover their hotel rooms while they're in Kingman, but for them to fly over, for them to be transported between the different communities, their first night in Phoenix and out, because they fly in out of Sky Harbor. Those expenses the Arizona Office of Tourism does cover, and then they look for the communities to kind of pick up on the individual experiences in their area.
Yeah, that is, just to clarify, that is not part of the actual Route 66 festival. That's something that they did in conjunction.
Right, okay, gotcha.
Separately. So they are not a sponsor. I believe the Route 66 festival, and correct me if I'm wrong, but originally came from direction from council.
Correct.
First of all, congratulations, not being the last one on the agenda. Is there a post-mortem done on this as far as an organized sitting down with you or committee or whatever to see if we can't improve on this margin? I know when you took it to city council, a week and a half ago or a week ago, I mean, their comments were, and I know we have two councilmen here, were about the mascot and about the craft beer, and I didn't hear any suggestions saying, can we improve upon this? Should we be adding different events? Should we be not doing certain events? Should we tweak some of them? Is there an organized group that between now and next year to try to improve upon this?
So our committee to put the event on always does meet and goes over, what the successes were and what sort of things we can change. We've had a preliminary meeting where we went over the numbers. We haven't had that get together to kind of go over all of the different components. But so far, our feedback from the public and from council has been pretty positive. But we do bring it here. That's why we have this presentation here, so there can be discussion from this group as well that we can take back.
Do you have any feedback on the general retail operators in Kingman? Did they see also an increase? I mean, you saw that there was a hotel increase, or was there other increases in retail, or people shuttling downtown, or up Stockton Hill, or things like that?
I don't have such a report. Our hotel report that we have is a subscription that we have that is just on a weekly basis. We get a report, and so we're able to pull those numbers from that report. And I don't know of such a report from a retail side.
That kind of information may also help alleviate the concern about the offset in cost versus revenue.
Hi, Josh. Couple questions. We went to the 2-day car show. Who's running that? Is the Pharaohs running that?
Correct.
Okay, how do we make money off of that, except for the vendors?
We don't make money off the car show. The car show helps build that ambiance to make the event, something of an experience for people that are wanting to come for a Route 66 experience.
What was the entry fee for the cars?
We don't charge an entry fee for the cars.
So are they paying cash to the Pharaohs?
No, there's
no charge at all.
Correct.
All right, second, vendors. Have you looked about increasing the vendor costs?
We have.
Okay, because that could help offset it a little bit.
Right. So initially, when we started in on the event, we had $100, and an additional space was $50. This year, we did $100 early bird rate, and any additional space was also $100. There was no discount, and then after the early bird rate, it went up to $150.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
I do want to say it was a great event. You guys did a
was.
good job.
All right, we're circling back to new business with item 4B, Economic Development Director Bennett Bradley. I just want to say, he said that I've gotten better at this, and it threw me off all day. So item 1 is going to be the sporting event recreational center. That's going to be informational. And then item 2, Economic Development Strategic Plan. Bradley will discuss with the commission what the request for proposal is and ask for one commissioner to take part in the scoring process.
All right, well, good afternoon, Chairman and Commission. And I will say that you've gotten better, but you've always been great. So appreciate opportunity to talk to you about 2 projects that are coming up and that we're working on. And they really go back quite a ways, and you guys have been part of this process over those years. And so I want to kind of take you back a little bit to the start of, where we were and kind of where we're going on them and where we are. So in 2019, as some of you might recall, we did a kind of a highlighting and review of that economic development plan. Actually, I'm sorry. In April of 2023, we reviewed the 2019 plan. So we went through it, basically looked at our goals. We identified various areas where we could take some stuff out of it, improve upon it. But we also recognized the need to, in another year or so, look at hiring a consultant. And so with that in mind, we had that in our budget at one time, which we thought it was going to be around $35,000. At about the same time in August of 23, the City Council was looking at a market feasibility study on an event-type center, and to assess the potential for that and bringing people in, and as well as local events. And so in that, we also attended in 2023 the Fall Forum. And we were able to hear a presentation from the USDA, the Rural Business Development Authority. And through that, there were some grant opportunities that we noticed. And so we knew we had these 2 projects that we were going to be looking at. And so we reached out to them. We actually submitted for that grant. and we were awarded that grant. And so with that, that enabled us to, save some money. The market feasibility study, council budgeted around $100,000 for that project, and we were awarded $75,000, which would require us to put in a $15,000 match. We went through an RFP process on that, and we recently, we selected a firm, and that's going to go before council at the upcoming council meeting. The total cost was didn't add up to the 100,000. It was right around 75,000 is what the RFPs were coming in at. So we're going to be around that match of $15,000 for that project. In regards to, so it was a dual grant that we put out there, which would cover both of those. And so we were awarded $35,000 that would go towards the economic development plan, and that would require us to have a $7,000 match. So, so the total project between the two was around $110,000. We were at about an $88,000 grant funding. That was awarded in 2024. Going back to the market feasibility study, we had 9 proposals that we reviewed. That was done on we will be recommending that to council on the December 3rd council meeting. And the economic development plan, we did issue the RFP on that. We are anticipating proposals being due by December 17th. And we will be evaluating that. So as part of the economic development plan, that plan is going to be within your guys' purview to be part of that process. Once we select the company and then go through the whole process that will come after that. But in looking at it and talking with the team, we really wanted somebody from the commission to also be on the review panel. So we wanted to kind of, as the discussion part of this, open it up to offer that we would, have one area that we could have a commissioner be part of that review panel in selecting the RFPs and going through that process. From the time it gets selected, it then goes to council, and then we'll be working with everybody in the community to go through that economic development plan. So with that, I just wanted to open that up for discussion and see, from the group who might be interested in participating in that.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment, great job on scoring that grant. That's a really smart use of our funding. So I just did some quick math, and you said $88,000 was funded. So of approximately 110, which means the city's really only putting out 22.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, without that, we would have had to cover the full 110 because it still has to be done. So good use of that. That was a good meeting that came from. Okay, commission. He's looking for a person to sit on that RFP process.
Yes, sit on that with us, and then we would bring that back to commission and council.
Well, that's simple. Who's not here?
I mean,
It's an
I'm
easy
willing
process,
unless somebody would like to do that outside of that. John,
Yeah,
this
I
seems like your wheelhouse. Okay,
I appreciate that, John.
I'd love to.
he's been voluntold.
Thank you. All right. Well, with that, any other questions about those two projects
I think we're going to wait and see more. I'm sure those things are going to come forward through this commission.
Yes,
So
they will. Okay. Well, thank you.
thank you. I'm going to move to announcements by commission members. I'm going to roll from left to right. So. I'll tell you afterwards. Okay, any requests for future agenda items or updates?
Yeah, I'd like to get some report from the retail coach about the current demographics of Kingman and what targets we're really looking at as we grow the city. Mainly from the point of view of the demographics, what kinds of populations are we looking for, what kinds of areas, et cetera.
That would fall under you, Sylvia. Good. Any clarifying questions?
No, thank you. Okay.
I go across and come back to the middle. Tasha? Requests for future agenda items or updates? No? Okay. Okay. I have a couple. I'd like to see a report on like the WAVE, JTED, SBDC partnership, and where that's going. I've seen it kind of pop up at council in a couple different ways, and I'd like to know a little bit more about how that's moving forward. And then another one that's propped up on our radar has also been, I know last summer there was some meetings between the city and the Historic Electric Vehicle Foundation, so I'd like to know kind of where that's heading, or as their kind of ideal was to be open during the centennial. So I'd like to hear a little more about that as well. Okay. And so any other? Okay, we're going to be adjourned.